So when you think of Disney in the video game space, the first thing that probably comes to most people's minds is Kingdom Hearts. And honestly, I can't really blame them. Kingdom Hearts is definitely the face of Disney in modern video games. But if you were gaming in the 90s and early 2000s, you know that Disney has a rich and extensive history when it comes to video games. Some good and some bad. But Disney has games on almost every platform out there. For me personally, I played tons of Disney games growing up. As a kid, I had a SEGA Genesis, and the games that I remember playing were Lion King, which is hard as hell, and to this day I cannot get past a certain point in that game. I also remember playing World of Illusions, which was a platformer featuring Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. And the cool thing is, the Illusion games were developed directly by SEGA. Matter of fact, Disney used to hire top tier talent and developers to make their games, whether it was Capcom or SEGA themselves. Either way, many of these games were great and very polished. Mickey Mouse has probably had the best track record when it comes to Disney's own characters. Of course, you had the Illusion series, which many retro gamers consider classics. Mickey Mania, the Magical Quest games, and Mickey even had one of the best games on the original Wii with Epic Mickey. By the way, that game really deserves a Switch port. Either way, Mickey has some very fun games, and it's a shame that they get overlooked by some. But in 2013, to my surprise, SEGA decided to remake one of the Mega Drive Mickey games, Castle of Illusions. Let's talk about that. Now, this remake was developed by SEGA Studios Australia, which is the studio that was responsible for the Golden Axe reboot that never came about. Unfortunately, SEGA Studio Australia is no more, and this is the only notable game that came from that studio. Now, I have played the original Castle of Illusions, and yeah, that game is hard as hell. But if you're curious, I would say go for it. It is a fun retro experience. Now, the remake. The story for this game is very simple and typical for a platformer. Mickey and Minnie were on a nice little stroll together, you know, what couples do. All of a sudden, the evil witch, Miserabelle, comes in and kidnaps Minnie. Miserabelle was jealous of Minnie's beauty and wanted that for herself. Now, Mickey is left to rescue her. In order to do that, he must explore this castle and all the crazy areas that come with that. The story is very simplistic, and honestly, for a platformer based on Mickey Mouse, this storyline is perfectly fine. The one thing that really sells the story for me is the narration that happens throughout the entire adventure. When you discover a new area or when you're just progressing through a level, you have this narrator. This makes the game feel very Disney-like and gives it that storybook feel, which I really enjoyed. The gameplay is where this game really shines for me. This game can be considered a 2.5D platformer with many challenges and cool level designs. I really enjoyed the jumping and the bouncing mechanic throughout the game. Mickey has the ability to bounce on multiple enemies, and if you land your jumps correctly, this allows you to reach higher grounds and find some really cool collectibles. Mickey can also use projectiles like apples and candles. One touch that I really appreciated, the projectiles are based on whatever level that you're in, matching the overall theme. It's pretty cool. You have jewels and different things to collect in order to reach new levels and also to hit that 100% completion. This game can get pretty difficult at times as well, and can definitely give you a challenge, whether it's the fast moving books in the library stage or the rotating and disappearing mints in the candy stage. You have to make sure that you have that precision when you jump. The boss fights can also be pretty tricky. I got so frustrated with the final battle with Miserabelle. That fight was definitely one that got me so mad I almost rage quit, but luckily I won and I beat the game. Man. The game also looks great and has some really nice looking levels. The first one that stood out to me was the Candyland themed stage. It was bright, colorful, and full of creative platforming. I also really love the coffee themed sections in the library. Mickey falls into a cup of coffee and has to watch out for the stirring tornado and the falling sugar cubes. As an avid coffee drinker, I really love this. The entire game is very creative in ways that it handles platforming, and I really wish more modern games did things like this. Overall, the Castle of Illusions remake is a great platformer and one of the best modern Disney games that you can play. I am happy to see Disney bring back many of their classic video games in the form of the Afternoon Collection and also the Lion King Aladdin Double Pack. Let Disney know that we love them to bring back these classic games. They're truly some gems. Castle of Illusions is no exception. If you see this game and you like platformers, play this game. Do it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.